Okay, so hanging out here, we made a couple changes. Where'd my cat go? Daisy's here somewhere. Daisy! I'm gonna sell this. If anyone wants this, it's a project. I'm selling it locally, but if anyone here really wants it, no one buys it, Andrew will. We finally got this guy working. I'm so excited. This is the one we've been using, and it still works. I'm gonna send it in and get it repaired like this one. Still works. It's kind of the second op machine. This machine is the absolute tits. Like, story about this is I bought this thing 3 years ago off Facebook Marketplace for like 1,500 bucks, missing the controller, just like I'm trying to sell that one. And I had no idea how big of an undertaking it was to find a controller or build a controller. So it kind of has sat around since then. The story about this machine is it came from actually up near Getson, like Elkhorn, Delavan area or whatever. And it was making medical parts. It was second op chucking work at like Sugami Swiss kind of shop, which is super cool. And I actually have some of the parts. See if I can find one. They were like super crazy, like tiny medical parts, like basically little rings, like maybe 1/4 inch diameter, 6 millimeters. Super cool stuff. They were like all up under here. But 5C spindle. There's Daisy. Unlike this one, which is kind of annoying, but 5C is great. 1.1 through hole. It has the air collet, so I can accurately close the collet, and then this also means I can close the collet with an M code from the control, so I can get a bar puller. I'm gonna buy hopefully a couple weeks from now. They're kind of expensive, kind of putting it off, and we can just load a 2-foot bar, put a bar puller on there, and then it'll M13 to open it. Bar puller comes in, cinches on the bar, pulls it out, M13 locks the spindle down again, and then runs again, which is so cool. When you can do that, you can just walk away once you have a tight program, and you can make a lot of stuff. This is probably the nicest machine I have in my shop. Everything works. I took that control off of that one, and it was actually when we were having a party here in end of September, we were having a party in the parking lot. I was just walking by these machines, and I just had a thought, because I've been trying to find a control to put on there for years. I actually bought this one from a guy on Practical Machinist. Kind of funny story. I bought it for like $1,500, which is a good deal. And it was shipped like boxed up well, but when it arrived, UPS had just freaking destroyed it. I was living at my parents' house at the time, and I pulled it out of the box. I was like, oh no, it's destroyed. Took it over the table, and by the time I realized anything, my dad, who loves throwing out garbage, took the box and threw it out, which means I couldn't claim it on UPS. So I just kind of had to eat it, and I didn't tell my dad because he would feel bad. That one didn't work out, but I've been able to get some value out of it, stealing some parts. There's Daisy. Look how pretty she is. But I took the control off of here, and I was walking by, and under here there's a Z-axis servo, and under there is the X-axis servo. And I remember that these are, what are they called? Glentech. They're Glentechs. I know those are Glentechs because when I originally looked for control, I needed a control that matched the drivers, and this one actually didn't, which is good. Well, it's good that it got destroyed, I guess. And I was walking by, and I'm like, I wonder what this one is. And these are Glentechs. And then my first thought actually, before I saw the servos, was why can't I just take that slide and put it on this machine, which you can. This entire assembly comes off with a couple bolts. But then I looked at the servos, and I was like, they're the same servos. So what is to stop me from taking this control and plugging it in here? There were a good few things stopping me. This control was kind of f***ed. The motherboard was bad. Floppy drive was bad. A bunch of stuff was bad. I fixed a few of the issues, but I couldn't fix the motherboard. So I actually sent just the computer assembly in here behind the keyboard into Omniturn, and they tricked it out. They did a great job. They're awesome. Every time I call, I talk to Mike. Mike is a badass, okay? You talk to Mike with any issue about an Omniturn, and he's like, oh yeah, we've seen that before. Here's how to fix it. There's like nothing that he can't fix. It's awesome. So I actually sent him all the boards out of this one, and he put them into this one because they're a bit more modern. And he put a hard drive in here, so that means all my boot sector stuff is on a hard drive already in the machine, so no more USB stick. The only thing the USB stick does is load programs, which we found out today. You can't have the USB stick in when you're turning this on, or else it'll load off the USB stick. But this machine is so great now. Omniturn did such a good job, and they didn't charge me like any money. I sent this in, they replaced all the stuff, like 10 hours of labor, and it was like $700. And I'm just like, I couldn't tell him how thankful I was. But it works. We got it back. I plugged it in, and the servos moved. I was able to jog it. The only thing that I had trouble with was I forgot to hook up a ribbon cable that controlled the signal from the controller to the spindle for telling it to rotate. And I forgot to hook that ribbon cable in. I called Mike, and he told me exactly what the issue was in 5 seconds, and I fixed it. So that was great. We're still dealing with one weird thing, which is if we run it higher than 60% speed, the Z-axis servo trips out. So I think that means the rapids on this machine are 300 inches a minute. The rapids on this machine are less. And this controller, or I'm guessing the rapids on That one is also more. So I think this controller is trying to put out 300 inches a minute, which it's saying right there. But these servos are not capable of that, so it trips out the servo. So, but when we run it on 60% feed, it runs the program super slow in every aspect, but it doesn't trip out the servo. So I'm kind of limping along for now. But super exciting. I'm so happy to have this machine. We're looking forward to making a lot of cool stuff with it. We kind of redid our area here so that we just have the two, which can pump out a lot of stuff, opposing each other with the cart, with all our tooling. This is what we're making today. These are tuba caps for our tuba piston that we were working on in our last video. So right now we're machining the top cap. Of course, they're different sizes. Top cap, it's gonna end up finished like that. First thing we do is threaded blank. Starts like this, just saw cut. These are actually 1.5" steel. And the super cool thing about 5C collets that you can't do with the Brown & Sharp collets, these have a max diameter of 1/16", so 1.062. That's like 27 millimeter, I think. The super cool thing about 5Z is you can machine a step collet. So 5C max diameter is 1.1" through the bore. You could realistically have up to like a 6-inch piece. Now I wouldn't put a 6-inch piece in here, but 1.5" is definitely within possibility, obviously. So that's super awesome because we have some projects coming up where we need to do that anyways. So yeah, we're gonna run this one. I actually ran these on the other machine last week. Just some finger button blanks. These are hard to do because it's threaded all the way up to that shoulder. So you had to get a really small threading tool in there. Working on this guy. So I'll run that cycle for you. It's super slow, so Colin just speed it up. Make sure that's in there. I'm gonna open it actually. And we're gonna hit cycle start. There's some good looking threads. It's very exciting to have this capability. Pretty cool shit there, guys. So we got the big ones done. I'm gonna do the small ones tomorrow. And then we have these arbors, so then these actually screw into these caps. And then this will go into the spindle. I'm actually probably gonna do it on this machine because this machine can go 100% feed rate. Actually, if I play my cards right, I can be running these OD profile on this machine while I'm running these blanks on this machine. That would be fun. Maybe we'll try and do that. But it's a spindle arbor. And then we'll thread those on and then we're gonna machine the OD profile, just like this. And this works out perfectly with our VGCT insert because it fits in that corner. Pretty cool. It's almost like, I think this is a cancel cap. So I'm guessing they were using a similar tool. So I'm gonna model this up in Fusion and then we'll use the Fusion code to output it and then I'll add the knurl on the manual machine. This knurl for the CNC, but I don't wanna risk it, to be honest. I'm much more comfortable doing that on manual right now. Someday we'll do the knurl on here. Ewan wants me to do some parts, I think. These are the bottom caps, kind of a weird shape. They are dished on the inside here. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to do that. I don't really want to do it on the CNC. You know what I can do? I know what to do. I got a tool for everything in my hand. A 1-inch ball end mill. So I could probably do this on Cincinnati and yep, that'll get us that shape. Just use it like a drill bit in the Cincinnati. Or no, I'll do it in the milling machine because I got the R8 arbor. That'll be good. Probably tune back in, hopefully, for the rest of this project. But we can shut down this machine for now. I'm pretty sure it's how it works. Omniturn people correct me. Let's go Z0. I think since I have a hard drive now, I can store tool offsets. So I just bring it to Z0 and then to X0. And then I shut it off with the E-stop. And then this will maintain position. So as long as this isn't bumped, when I turn this thing back on, my tools will be in the right spot. The offsets are stored. I think, yeah, see that didn't move. A lot of times it moves if you just E-stop it. So that's super cool. So we'll check. Maybe it'd be fun to check the repeatability of that someday. Shop's shaping up. We're getting cleaned up. Daisy's hanging out. World's coolest shop cat. She's deaf, so she can't be mad at you for anything. You wanna go upstairs? You wanna go upstairs? You wanna go upstairs?